Da 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 da.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Our Vision, where we try to help each other envision a better common future. Today I want to talk to you about Frutos Concienca, which can both mean fruits with science or conscious fruit. Frutos Concienca has become the label under which some of the first products developed at workshops in Casa Común are being sold. And I think this will be able to illustrate very well how economic interactions at Casa Común are seen more as community building exercises than ways to make profit. So let's get into it.
Frutos Concienca become because we start dehydrating, transforming fruits. That was the beginning. But then the main meaning was what was happening with the things that we were transforming. We start creating Frutos Concienca as a way of creating a mini economy, like tiny. It wasn't that big. It was just a small space as excuse to meet other people with a different eye.
Margarita and her son Luca were living at that point largely off her own vegetable garden, and when fruits ripened, there was simply too many to eat them all. So she started experimenting with dehydration, and together with Rafa, another steward of Casa Común, later on even developed a way to turn old fridges into dehydrators. But this problem, of course, didn't just exist for her. Other people in the countryside had the same issue, so they would come to Casa Común telling Margarita about their needs. Rafa and Margarita started organizing workshops to share the fridge dehydrator technique and offered up their own dehydrators at home as well. After a while, that established a regular pattern of farmers bringing their excess fruit, which would flood markets otherwise and drive prices down, to Margarita, who could then turn them into products with a longer shelf life. And then?
Someone came to the house, we were building, we were doing things. I was creating my own solar dehydrator at that point. And then the main body of science and technology in Colombia, Conciencia, called me to give them a talk about what we were doing in here. And I didn't know what we were doing here, really. But what I understood is how we enter into a relationship with our resources. That resource gave us a fruit, and that fruit can be transformed into becoming something more.
Based on the impulse of having to present to the outside world, structures were explicated a little more, and Frutos Concienca was born.
The body of Frutos Concienca are in different products. The main product is a granola that is full of nutrition, but what is the best ingredient is the amount of relationships that granola has. Huge amounts of meeting, encounters, transformation. And within that, we create so many other things like oils, fermentations, sweets, granola bars, and so many things. But everything that is contained under Frutos Concienca is full of meetings and full of relationship that contains that product. Valuing the resources that we have in here. So it's basically that. Frutos Concienca has been growing with the house and have been transformed in a healthy community product.
So while all of this does help to give local farmers some extra money, it is mostly an exercise of valuing all resources you have, distribute resources to the person that can create the most value with them, and then sharing the value created with everybody. This idea of monetary gain as the byproduct, with the main focus being relationship, trust, and community building, forms part of all that goes on at Casa Común, and I think is the key to the development of the vibrant activity that constantly revolves around it now. On top of that, the first product, the granola, even started to be used as a sort of currency, with some part of the people involved in the process being paid with product instead of money, which they could then go and sell for more than they would have otherwise received to their friends.
We're still in the process of learning how to be in the system, working with the system, using the system, and having careful how the system can use us.
Slowly, they were developing an alternative to the regular economic system, which allowed them to circle value better within their community. They reclaimed the freedom inside their heads to develop their own economic system. But nobody ever sat down and proposed a grand plan of how this would look like. No. They evolved it step by step, and it continues, dynamically evolving every day, with its newest iteration probably being the tienda comunitaria, the community store, which I want to talk to you about in the next episode. But for today, I created a little companion exercise to go along with this video to help you reclaim this mental freedom for yourself as well. Highly recommend you to check it out. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Our Vision. If you want to share the gift of inspiration, send us to a friend of yours. Let's regenerate the earth.